All right, so where is the leadership that BP so desperately needs but just can't seem to summon? Why are they reeling so badly? Well, John Baldoni is a leadership consultant, executive coach. He's in Farmington Hills, Michigan tonight. Thank you, sir, for coming in tonight.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Well, my question, are leaders born or made?
Oh, well, that's a $20 billion question, I'd say right now. No, I think it's probably a little bit of both. I think that folks have those characteristics, the willingness to put themselves forward. Particularly, we see that in a crisis. But leadership is, of course, a choice. Not all of us seek to lead others, but those who do, sometimes we have a trait that we want to put ourselves forward. Others need to be a little nudged, and sometimes that nudge comes from others, or sometimes it comes from the situation at hand.
But I guess we'd be safe to assume that if you're the CEO of one of the biggest corporations in the world, that you have exemplified some sort of leadership traits, which makes me wonder, where are they now in the case of Tony Hayward?
Well, it's interesting. You know, I knew I was going to be on this program, so thank you. And I did a little research. It wasn't just but 6 weeks ago The Economist did a ringing endorsement of Tony Hayward, because what a lot of folks don't remember right now, he was the cleanup guy. BP had a terrible record, and even worse record right now, but he was a lifer with the company and started to clean things up a bit, but obviously in this moment of crisis, he has proved not up to the job.
Well, what could he have done? This is what I wonder, and I know you coach people on this. What could he have done which could have changed the way the public now sees BP?
Well, I think what happened was the story got away from him. And BP, I think what happened in retrospect was the facts behind them are so shameful that the lawyers reined him in. And so he sort of has become a stonewall, because when the crisis first broke, he was quite active, and he was exemplified the three things that leaders must do in a crisis. That's be seen, be heard, be there. Be seen, let your people see you. Be heard, deliver your message, keep the message fresh. But be there is more of a metaphorical thing. Be available, be there so people can see, feel, hear, and touch you, and you're one of them. They see you're part and parcel of that.
So we ran the example before of the New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani. Would that be the case there? I mean, what you're saying seems to describe the way he handled that.
Absolutely. He was the mayor of our nation at those critical days after that, and he was everywhere. We saw him, and he was the chief mourner for the city, but he was also the city's chief cheerleader. We saw him bringing New York City back to life. So that is a classic example of how to take a catastrophe and exemplify leadership. And part of that, of course, comes from examples like Winston Churchill or Franklin Roosevelt. We see them in our history.
Once you blow your chance, and I think a lot would argue that Mr. Hayward has, can you get it back? Is there a second chance when it comes to something like this, when it comes to leadership?
Ooh, I don't know. I think history is written for Mr. Hayward at BP. I think his chance is over. Other executives in less public crises do have a chance to do things over, and who knows what Mr. Hayward will do next. But I think for the good of the company, and this is a part of a leadership equation, you have to know when it's time to leave. And you know when it's time to leave is when you can no longer serve the organization effectively. When your leadership, per se, your management becomes a detriment, then it's time to go.
John Baldoni, great to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you.